Hi everyone, it's Mike here. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be making some mixed media watercolour thank you cards. So I'm starting off by taping down some hot pressed watercolour card onto my work surface, and you can see me here tearing some strips of tissue paper that were sent to me recently in some happy mail from Eva of Eva Leve Arts. So you can see I'm just sticking down or placing down some random pieces just as focal points or centre points onto the cardstock, which I'm now going to stick down onto the watercolour card using indigo blue Slap It On, which is a gel medium. I'm just going to adhere the glue straight over the top and just bond those pieces of tissue paper to the watercolour card, and that tissue will disappear and it will just look as though the images have been stamped directly onto the watercolour card. Once I'm happy that the tissue paper is stuck down quite well, I'm going to just give it a quick heat blast with my heat tool, and then I'm going to get out my Neocolor 2 crayons, and I'm going to be using these with a water brush, well, with a paintbrush and some water, and applying the Neocolor directly from the crayon rather than putting the crayon onto the paper. I'm actually going to be activating the colour with a brush and allowing the paint or the pigment to drop onto the paper, which I'm then going to move around the card with my paintbrush in a very sort of loose watercolour way. Now I'm doing both at the same time. I'm being very economical, so I'm going to make them both look similar, but obviously they're going to look different, but almost like a set. One of the things I like about the Neocolor 2s is that they're permanent when dry. So once activated and you've mixed them with water, once you've allowed them to dry, they are totally permanent. So what I do is I heat set with my heat tool between each colour layer. So now I'm applying my second colour, which is a turquoisey tealy blue colour, and I'm just going to do exactly the same thing. Activate the colour with the water on the crayon and allow it to drop onto the page, and then I'm just going to move that colour around with water on water technique, wet paper with a wet brush, and just move it around and get that real sort of beautiful pooled, puddled watercolour look. So again, I'm going to heat set with my heat tool, and then as the paper is starting to curl up a little bit, I'm going to tape the bottoms down just to hold it in place while I add my third colour. Originally I had intended these cards, or the fronts that I was doing now, to be part of the main card, which is what you can see at the top. So it was an A2 in American size, A6 in UK size card, and I was intending just to work on the fronts and send it as is, but I decided that I wanted a darker colour, so I will trim these down later on. So now adding my third colour, which is a deep sort of pinky, almost slightly purpley kind of pink, and just adding that in areas around in between the turquoises and that lovely luscious lime green. So again, once I'm happy, I'm going to heat set the colour once it's complete, and then I'm going to move on to my next stage. So it was here that I decided that I was going to cut the fronts off these cards, because with the water reacting with the watercolour card, it wasn't stable enough. They were a bit too buckled for my liking, so I decided that I was actually going to trim them down. So now you can see me finding some old pages from an old book project that I did a long time ago. This was actually from Diane Reilly. I'm still using the pages from it all these years later. So just using the red Neocolor crayon, I'm just going to scribble some of that crayon down onto the page and then activate the pigment with water, just in a random fashion. I'm not really trying to get any particular shape or anything. I just wanted to get a nice sort of even red colour on that book page. So even though I did 2 pages, I only end up using the one, and I've just put one away to use at a later date. So even though the Neocolor 2 crayons, once activated, are permanent, for my next step I wanted to make sure that they were well and truly sealed, but I also wanted them to get some kind of a sheen on them. So I've gone over the page with the indigo blue Slap It On gel medium just to give it that bit of a seal, because it's better safe than sorry. So now I'm just cutting the page up into 2 strips, and then I'm just going to fold them in half and then freehand cut out the shape of a heart. Okay, so it's tidy up and clean up time, and then we're ready to stick those hearts onto the front of our cards. So now they're all nice and dry, I'm going to take out my food ball pen and I'm going to go around the hearts, just adding in some black sketchy kind of scribbly lines just to kind of break up that harsh colour, and then adding some faux kind of stitches. I'm now going to take out my trimmer and start trimming down those card fronts so that they will fit onto the same size of a card blank that I'm going to make in a moment, just using plain black card. So I'm just taking off 2 or 3 millimeters, or about 1/8 of an inch, all the way around, just to make sure that I have a nice sort of even border when I stick it down to the next card front. Now that the card fronts are cut down, I'm going to create my card bases. So I've just taken a UK sized A4 piece of cardstock and cut it straight down the middle. Portrait wise, if you wanted to recreate this in the US, you just use an 8x10 and just cut it straight at the 4, so it's pretty much a similar sort of size. Ours are slightly bigger. There, looks so much better with a black border rather than a white one. So all I'm going to do now is I've already applied double-sided tape, but I'm also adding some wet glue, so I do have a little bit of wiggle room before the glue takes hold, so that I can make sure I get my equal border all the way around. Now the borders are slightly different on each card. One has a slightly more of a black border than the other one, so I just wanted to make sure that I could get them positioned just perfect before the glue took hold. Now the glue's all stuck and we're all solid, it's just the finishing touch to add the words "thank you" at the bottom of my heart. So there we go, 2 thank you cards in little or next to no time, and I think they look absolutely stunning. So all I have to do now is write on them and get them sent out. I hope you've enjoyed this mixed media card making tutorial. If you have, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again real soon. Bye for now.